today we're going to talk about what contingencies are in real estate. So let's go. Hey, my name is Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and if it's your first time here, welcome! Hit the subscribe button, it's right there on the right hand corner of the screen. You'll be notified every time I do a video every Wednesday about Hampton Roads and about real estate, and I want you to see all of them because I got so much stuff to tell you. So first I'm going to talk about what contingencies are in real estate, but then I'm going to give some real life examples of other kinds of contingencies that you might not have thought about to give more context about the ones in real estate. So when you go back and make your offer on your house, you'll know how the process works and what they actually mean. But in all these contingencies I'm going to go into, I'll give a difficulty level as to how difficult it is for that contingency to be accepted. So contingencies in real estate are very simple. Basically what a contingency is, it's an acknowledgement that the house will close provided that a certain event will happen prior to that is agreed upon by both people. And I actually talked about some of these contingencies up here if you want to learn more about the in-depth pieces of these contingencies. But for now, I'm going to talk about the three general contingency types. Number one is the home inspection contingency. Now this is one that a buyer usually puts into a contract when they ask for a home inspection to happen when they make an offer on a house. And so once the offer is accepted, they do a home inspection. If the seller doesn't agree to fix certain things that the buyer might ask to have fixed, then the buyer can walk away because of this contingency. Difficulty level for the home inspection contingency to be fulfilled, I'd say a 3 out of 10. Number two is the financing contingency. This is one that is in place to protect the buyer in case something happens with their loan process outside of their control that prevents them from finalizing the house and buying the house. And if they have a situation that comes up where they can't qualify to buy the house, then they can use this contingency and then be released from the contract. Now with the financing contingency, most of the time, once you get to the point of making an offer on a house, a buyer has their financing in order and it's a very random freak situation to cause their financing to then fall through. So I'd say give this a 1 out of 10. Now for the appraisal contingency, every house that's under contract, an appraiser will go out and appraise the house to make sure that the house is worth what the buyer is offering the seller. And if they think it's less than that, worth less than that, then the seller has to either drop the price of the house or they come to an agreement or the buyer can walk away. That's the contingency. Difficulty level for this one, I'd say a 2 out of 10. Doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while a deal falls through because of this. So these three contingencies are pretty expected and don't normally create a situation where a contract falls through. Now as a buyer, you can make anything contingency. You can make it contingent on your aunt going to see the house from overseas. That would be really hard to convince the seller to agree upon, but you could technically do that. So there are expected contingencies and then there are unexpected or I would say outside the scope of possible contingencies that you could create if you wanted to.
Now there are other contingencies that, while uncommon, are sometimes requested in offers too. For instance, the receipt of a property survey, just to make sure that the property lines are where the buyer is expecting. Or contingent on, for instance, like a septic tank inspection if the house has one, or any inspection that's done by a licensed contractor for a specific industry, or like for instance lead-based paint, or asbestos, or any unit in the house that needs to be inspected. Any of these contingencies and more could be an accepted part of the contract provided the seller and buyer both agree.
So let me also give you some real life contingencies in my life, and I think yours too, that will add some more context to what I'm talking about. Here's one. My satisfaction at the DMV is contingent on the length of the line at the DMV. So I've probably been to the DMV and been satisfied, but the chances of that are not very high. I think the only time I was actually satisfied at the DMV was when I got my license. Otherwise, I don't even think it's possible. You just need to get there at like 6 in the morning. Me not having an upset stomach tomorrow is contingent on me not drinking milk today. My stomach does not do well with dairy. It does not process well, so therefore if I ever have dairy, I know it. So because of that, I am off dairy and I'm a happier person for it. So to recap, I wanted to talk about what a contingency is in real estate, but I wanted to incorporate some other fun little examples to show you in context what I'm talking about. There are a lot of contingencies that are very typical in real estate and they're expected to come with most offers. And then there are some that you can just add that make it real complicated for a contract to go to closing. The more detailed and more unique you get with your offer and your contingencies, the less of a chance that the seller is going to accept your offer. So refer back to your real estate agent so he or she can advise you on if the things you're asking for are some things that are expected or not expected. So that's it for today. My name is Sam Sansalone. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell next to it so you'll be notified every Wednesday when I do a video. I love doing these things for you. I hope they bring value to your life, and I'll see you on the next one. Milk. Thank you. Goodbye.